The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where Wally teaches and where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. This podcast is also brought to you by United Faith Mortgage. Let their direct lender advantage save you time and money.
Uplifting WayFM.
Stories served with a side of Southern sass.
You're breaking my hair.
I mean charm. Here's Betty Rock.
With experience, many know the tricks of the trade when it comes to using a public bathroom and not picking up any germs along the way. If you could use a refresher, or perhaps you know someone who could use a reminder.
Nope.
Looking at Wally, I found this list of the top tips, okay? So I do all of these.
Do you really?
Yeah, because to me, a public bathroom is the nastiest.
Yeah, and I don't like public restrooms either, but women, they just all seem to just accept it, and they know that this is part of their day, whereas I will hold it for 14 hours to get home.
Well, sometimes you can't hold
I know, unless
it.
it's an emergency, but my wife is always like, well, it doesn't matter what store we're in, it's like, oh, I'm going to use the restroom. Why?
But let me point out who deals with kidney stones and who doesn't.
I'll take it. It's worth it. Absolutely worth it. Yep, it is.
Okay, so the first trick is opening and closing the doors with your back. That means backing into a door, not pushing it with your hand or anything like that, or with your tongue.
Okay, yeah.
You need to back into the door.
I fist push it, and I push it higher or lower than like where everyone else would reach.
Smart.
Yeah, I go higher or lower. And if it's a handle, I pinky it at the bottom.
Smart.
Thank you.
Look at you. Wow.
I know.
I'm kind of shocked.
Yeah.
Okay. Another one is flushing the toilet with your foot.
Absolutely.
Never use your hand.
No.
Gavin, you don't use your hand, do you?
I mean, like, I use my hand, but then I go wash my hand.
No.
No,
And
you
I
don't even
wash-
do that.
Yeah,
No.
What if if it's a urinal, I can't kick that
Well,
high.
you should do yoga, or you should
Okay.
stretch. You should always stretch before you go to the restroom.
And finally, using a paper towel for touching practically anything.
Yeah.
So if you're opening a door, like if you have to open a door, it's not like swingable, then use a paper towel to touch the knob and throw it in the trash.
What do you do with the paper towel, like, as you're leaving? Do you try to throw it back in, or do you take
I
it
try
with you?
and like do like a Michael Jordan and just aim for the trash can as well as I can.
Oh, okay.
If I miss, I miss, and that wasn't my fault.
Someone else's problem
That's
at that
someone
point.
else's problem. Also, like turning the faucet on and off.
Do you do that with a paper towel too?
Yes.
Really? Because then you're just going to wash your hands right then.
Well,
and
it's
there
not
anyway.
so much about on, but when off.
Because
Yes.
his hands are clear.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. My wife's the same way. Like, she does all that stuff.
And you should thank her for that.
I do. I just avoid it. Like, unless it's an emergency and we got no other options, I just avoid it. Absolutely. So there you go. Some reminders, or at least ways to tell your kids how to do stuff today. Uplifting WayFM, this is the Wally Show, and a photo came up on my iPhone memories the other day, and it was of me and my daughter, and we were at this theater in Italy. We had taken this really cool trip, and she's a theater kid, so we were trying to find different theaters, and it was really cool, and I love that photo because she didn't want to be there. But I
With
drug
you?
her. Well,
At the theater?
yeah, the thing is, the theater was closed. And so,
What?
Yeah, the theater was closed, and I'm like, it'd be so cool to get in there and take a photo. And I found an unlocked door.
No, you did
way.
not.
I did. I found an unlocked
No, you
door.
did not.
And I'm like, Haley, let's go take a photo. Come on. And she was like, no, we can't, because she's a rules kid.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're not breaking anything. The door's open. It's almost an invitation. Like, we're not doing anything bad. We're just going to take a photo, look around, and then take off. No, we cannot. We
That's
cannot.
what any robber would say. I mean, it's practically
Yeah,
an invitation.
So I kind of drag her in there with me. And we get this photo in this beautiful theater.
You went that far.
Oh yeah, we were inside. Oh yeah, we were all in the auditorium, not just in the lobby. We went in.
Was
to
this
the
like
thing.
in the middle of the day, or was this like night?
middle of the day. Yeah, middle of the day. And so we go in. And it was really cool, super ornate and beautiful. And her putting on a smile to do like a quick bow, like photo, and then her like, let's get out of here now. It was my favorite because the photo you just see her smiling, but you don't know the behind the scenes. She was out of there so fast. But now it's funny to hear her tell it, like all these years later.
She's like, never guess what I did.
We snuck into a theater. I'm like, wait, what? No, I had to drag you in there, man. But it was kind of cool. Like, so we were unintentionally backstage, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I am curious, like, have you ever gone behind the scenes somewhere, whether intentionally or invited or maybe not invited? You just kind of walking through a concert, before you know it, you walk past the security guard and you're backstage.
Yeah, I'm sitting here judging you, and I have no right to judge because I've actually done that myself.
Have you really?
Yes. So there was this artist that I really love, and I saw the group of people that had backstage passes, and my dad was standing. You dads are like bad examples. My dad was like, I bet if you got in that circle with those people and you just acted confident, like you knew what you were doing, they'd let you backstage.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I did it. And I got backstage and I met that artist.
See,
Confidence.
there you go.
Got a picture and everything,
That's
and
great.
I had no backstage pass. It was amazing.
Yeah, see, I like sometimes you sneak places, I guess, or sometimes you just get caught up with the crowd and just, hey, I'm just walking here. I didn't even know what was going on.
Walking.
All right, so 855-33-WAY-FM. Have you ever gotten to go behind the scenes? And if it's legit, that's fine too. This isn't all about sneaking in. Like, it's probably better if it is legit, to be honest with you. But like, yeah, what was like a really cool backstage behind the scenes? Could be a concert, could be like a cool theme park thing or whatever.
Right.
So what was your behind the scenes experience, whether it was invited or otherwise? 855-33-WAY-FM is the number. We'll take yours now. Did you ever get backstage or behind the scenes somewhere, invited or otherwise, that was cool for you, Nick?
Absolutely. So we're in Louisville, Kentucky, and we have the Kentucky Derby here. And there are all these galas that are full of celebrities, really high-end formal wear. And if you just dress like you know what you're doing, you can just walk in. So a lot of times they'll have like a smoking area, and like you can just walk in the door where the smokers are, and you can meet all kinds of celebrities. Met Chevy Chase, O.J. Simpson, Ken Norton Jr.,
No.
and you're just in the middle of everything. You just wear a tux and walk in, and you're good.
That's so great. I love that you commit to wearing a tux and you don't mind secondhand smoke. You're like, it's worth it. I met Chevy Chase.
That's awesome.
I had about a 15-minute conversation with O.J. Simpson and his girlfriend one time.
With his girlfriend, was this pre-Bronco chase?
Post Bronco chase.
Oh, was your first question, did you do it? Like, you have to.
Well, I shook his hand first, and then I sized up his glove, and I figured, well, I'm not sure.
Hey, Nick, thanks for being on the show with us, man.
All right, man. You guys have a great day.
So have you ever done that, Leanne?
Actually, we paid to go behind the scenes in a cruise ship a couple of years ago. And we were able to go into the kitchen, see how they store, prep, and serve the food. The most fascinating part for me was going to the laundry facility because I love fresh laundry and seeing how they wash and dry and fold all the sheets and the towels. And we also got to go down into the bowels of the ship and see the engine, and then up on the, I think it's called the captain's deck, where they actually drive the ship and see the view from there and how they actually navigate that big thing. And it was really worth the money. We really enjoyed it.
I love cruising, and I've never done the full behind-the-scenes tour before. I always want to. I've seen a lot of TV shows on it. I think it's pretty interesting. And the scope at which they run these things, it's like a floating city. And the fact, like, they create their own water from seawater, which is amazing. They burn their own garbage on the ship. Like, it's amazing how they function. And so you would recommend that?
Absolutely. It was worth the money, yes.
And really, that's a compliment for the cruise lines, because I think if you were able to go behind the scenes at like your local Chili's or your local Outback or whatever, you'd be like, I don't know if I want to go there anymore.
So I am curious, have you ever been behind the scenes somewhere, either invited or otherwise?
So when I was young, like 7, 8, maybe a little bit older, they were filming the movie The Firm in Memphis, Tennessee, which is where I grew up. And my mother knew that I was really interested in it because it was a big thing in Memphis at the time. So one day she comes and she picks me up from school unannounced. I have no clue where we're going. She just does it as a surprise. And we get in the car and we drive to the Millington Naval Base, and we walk through a break in the fence onto the naval base, which now in retrospect I'm pretty sure is a federal crime. We probably could have gone to jail, or she could. And then we walked into one of the hangars and it was a soundstage that they had turned into sets for the movie. And we're walking around just taking pictures of everything. And then from behind us, we hear someone say, "Hey, you guys shouldn't be in here." And we turn around and my mom explains what we're doing. And it turns out that it was a producer for the movie. And instead of kicking us out, he ended up giving us an entire tour of the set and actually let me sit in Tom Cruise's desk where his character sat.
What?
And I have a picture of me sitting behind his desk. I have a business card from his desk, which I think is kind of cool because how many of those still even exist? So I may have like the only one of the business cards from his desk that still exists with his character name on it. So
that is
yeah,
so
crazy.
cool. I like that the producer had a choice to make at that point, enforce the rules and kick you out, or do something really cool that provides a memory for this kid for the rest of his life, and that's what he chose to do. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I think we were kind of just dumbfounded that it was like, wow, this is really neat that this guy is doing this. So it's a great memory that I have with my mom, even though we committed a federal crime.
Exactly. You know, those are the best memories with your parents, honestly. In my family, we kind of have a motto, and it's finish strong. And I wanted to instill the idea in my daughter from a young age that it's easy to start something, but it's harder to see it through to the end.
But when you do, it feels so good. I started and finished 2 degrees at Colorado Christian University, and I'm so glad I did.
So why not start your degree in 2023 so you can do more in 2024?
Some of CCU's degrees can be completed in a little over a year. Like in the healthcare industry, you can finish your RN to BSN online nursing program with 9 courses in as little as 14 months without changing your work schedule.
Plus, if you started somewhere else and have not finished yet, make this your year to get it done. CCU has a generous policy for transferring credits from other colleges. In fact, you can even get a scholarship for transferring credits.
So don't put it off another day, because when 2024 rolls around, you could be finishing up a degree or wishing you had started in 2023.
Colorado Christian University is a nonprofit impact partner committed to cultivating the mind without compromising the heart.
Uplifting Way FM.
Here's what's going on today.
So there was a statement that came out of All Israel News, and it broke on Sunday, and it caused a ripple effect throughout the Christian world, believe it or not. 2 ultra-Orthodox members introduced a bill that would outlaw anyone sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ as the Messiah in Israel.
Whoa.
And the penalty was kind of interesting because it was, if you were sharing the gospel of Jesus with an adult, the penalty was a maximum of a year in prison.
Oh, wow.
So not a fine, a prison term. And if you were trying to persuade a minor, it was a proposed maximum of 2 years in prison. And so you're like, wow, Israel, like we serve the same God, but Jesus is the delineating factor between our two faiths.
Right,
you know?
because they don't believe that he was the Son of God.
Right, they're still waiting for the Messiah.
Right.
They don't deny Jesus as a good man, but he's not, in their world, is not the Messiah.
Right.
And so, I mean, it's a problem. But my wife even told me the story. Like, she had seen the story. She's like, can you believe this? And so I did a little digging on it because I wanted to find out a little bit more about it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it just seemed really improbable because we have such a good relationship. And we're a Christian nation, believe it or not. But we have such a good relationship with Israel. And it's important that we do. You know, the Bible talks about he who blesses Israel will be blessed. He who curses Israel. So that's important. But apparently what it was is it was two members of this group. They were ultra-Orthodox. They put this bill forth. Any member of Congress, for example, with our can put a bill forth.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's going forward.
Right.
Like, so these two guys don't have support by everything else. They put it forward probably to placate their ultra-Orthodox conservative base, and it gets shot down. So it's not moving forward. And the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, said that we will not advance any law against Christians in the community. And so, so he, from the highest position in that, is like, hey, this is not happening.
Right.
We're still good, everybody here, even though we're a little different.
Well, at least there's some sanity there.
Yeah, exactly. I think, so for me, the key in this is just, again, like, we read so many headlines and we quickly forward so many headlines and about, especially about religious things or about our faith being squashed and like, oh, this is going on and it's horrible. We need to revolt and we need to rise up against this. But then when you dig into the story, 9 times out of 10, it wasn't worth forwarding. And
Right.
so that's always the cautionary tale in this from me to myself and anybody else is before you hit forward on something, just read a little bit deeper into it because it might not be worth getting all worked up over. Hey, me saying don't get worked up over something. Oh, that's a delight.
Oh, so good.
Might be the funniest thing I've said today.
Uplifting Way FM.
Here's what's going on today.
So we were talking the other day amongst ourselves about music, and it was kind of funny because somebody said something in the room, Betty or Gavin, were like, oh, that song is so you. And we started thinking about this. We're like, yeah, there are definitely songs that are kind of like, that should be your theme song because it describes you or it gets you.
Right. Like you hear it and it hits your soul. You're like, wow, I feel seen.
Yeah.
I feel heard.
Yeah, and mine happened to be one that became popular on TikTok, but it was a Taylor Swift song, and then...
Okay.
What?
What are you, 56?
Yeah, 54, thank
54.
you.
54.
Yeah.
And
Still.
you identify with a Taylor Swift song?
She's the voice of my generation. No, and then I don't like Taylor Swift music, but
You're
lyrically,
Swiftie.
this one is right on the money. Tell me what you think.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
Yeah, see?
accurate.
Yeah, at least I'm admitting it now. It's taken me 54 years to get to the point where I can say, yeah, I think I might be the problem here.
And Taylor Swift was the one who opened that door
She
for
did.
you.
She
Wow.
it was amazing. It was
amazing.
enlightening.
Look at her. She's a hero.
All right, Gavin, what would your theme song be?
Well, this was a song that I personally hadn't heard of in my life until yesterday because I was having a hard time finding the right song to
Right.
describe me, and then Betty recommended this
Multiple
song.
ones, but there was this one that's by Jewel. She was big back in the 90s, and she did a song called I'm Sensitive.
Oh.
And I was like, that is Gavin.
That is Gavin. Let's hear this.
Words can crush things that are unseen, so please be careful with me. I'm sensitive and I'd like to stay that way.
Oh my goodness. I've never heard that
Because
song.
the thing, and I'm not saying he's sensitive as in you need to be delicate with my feelings. It's more of he is very aware of everyone else's feelings around him.
Sure.
And he is very careful.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And
so
I'm
it's
not,
not-
I'm not part of this generation that needs people to tiptoe around
Yeah.
all
No,
the
no,
things
no.
about
No,
me.
no.
That's
Yeah.
not who I am.
No.
But yeah, I can be sensitive to other people.
Right.
I'm also, sensitive to like loud noises and
Sure, yeah,
jump
yeah.
scare stuff.
He
and-
has piddled before when he got startled.
He has a sensitive bladder.
Yeah,
A lot of sensitive
sensitivities.
tummy.
Yeah. Lady Rock, what would you? As somebody who is callous, I'm curious what you went with.
Okay, so I am the queen of naps. I can
Amen.
sit on the couch, give me a bowl of popcorn,
It's true.
and I can binge watch anything. So I went with Bruno Mars' Lazy Song.
Yes, I see it.
Yep.
So accurate.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That is Lady Rock for sure. All right, so let's do this with you, okay? You've heard ours. What is the song that could be your theme song? It describes you, okay?
Yeah.
So you can tell us what it is, and then we'll kind of figure out why that is you, okay? 855-33-WAY-FM is the number. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll take your song now. What would yours be, Jeanette?
Mine would be Walk Like a Boss, Talk Like a Boss. I think, what's his name? Don't recall the artist, but I was told that same song.
Betty Rock is Googling it right now. It's not Rick Ross, the boss.
Oh, because she walks like a boss, talks like a boss, manicure nails and set the pedicure
Yes.
off. Wait, are you talking about Neo's Miss Independent?
Neo, there you go. It's Neo. That's correct.
She got her own thing. That's why I love her. Miss Independent. Ooh, the way you shine. Miss Independent.
Miss Independent, that's the actual name of the song.
Yes.
There you go. So now you know what your theme song is, Jeanette, and you can sing the whole thing.
Well, thanks, guys. Have a great day.
What would your theme song be for you as a person?
Reliant K, Mood Ring.
She's so pretty, but she doesn't always act that way. Her moves are swinging on the swing set almost every day. She said to me that she's so happy it's depressing. And all I said was, someone get that girl a mood ring.
Oh, are you you moody?
I am.
Yes. There's another person in this room that this could be their theme song too.
Don't talk about yourself like that, Wally.
Oh.
I didn't mean me. I definitely meant someone else that has different chromosomes from me.
Who's told you that you need a mood ring?
Oh, probably every boyfriend I had in high school, and I know my husband would benefit from one if I had one.
Oh, yeah. If we could ever just know what you're thinking before you yell at us, it would be so nice. Aubrey, what would yours be?
My theme song would be Happy by Pharrell Williams.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along.
I'm an incessantly happy person, but then also I'm that way in the morning.
Yeah. Oh, I can tell you this right now, Aubrey. I do not like you.
I'm a teacher, and the teacher next door to me said the same thing. He was like, I was not excited to be next to you. You're loud, and you're always, like, excited. And he said, but now you're my fresh cup of coffee in the morning.
Oh, that's cute. It's funny because Betty Rock and I are this way. I hate getting up. I'm not a morning person, but once I'm up, I'm ready for the day. Let's do this. And when she comes into work, like there are days I'll be like on a 9 or 10 maybe.
An 11?
11.
And I'm at a 2, and I need to slowly warm up to at least a 6.
Yeah.
But he wants me to meet him right at an 11 at 5 a.m., and I'm like, it ain't going to happen, and I need you to tone it back.
Yep. I am a high school teacher, so my students are like, you know, at a 2 or 3 all day, and then I'm at an 11 all day. So they're always like, oh my gosh, there's so much. And I'm like, but math is so much fun.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I can see, like, when you walk into the classroom, all the kids are hearing is the Pharrell song.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof.
That's awesome, man.
Have a great day.
Hey, thanks, you too.
Bye. Of course she's going to have a great day. She's happy. All right, Christina, you're up. What would your theme song be?
This is my fight song by Rachel Parton.
This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song.
Now, why is this your theme song?
I'm a recovering addict
Oh, wow.
and alcoholic for 8 years now. My husband and I have been through a lot dealing with that. We were in a house fire, we were in a tornado, and we lost everything twice and had to start over. And it just helps me to keep going, you know, keep fighting for what I have and what I want in my relationship with God. I even ended up in prison for 20 months, and my husband and children stayed by my side.
Wow, that's amazing.
If we have someone who is maybe struggling with addiction, what's that one tip you would give them?
Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on God. You know, God will deliver you.
Well, Christina, thank you so much for your perspective, and I definitely think that perspective carries more weight when somebody's gone through it like you did, and so thank you for sharing that, because you never know, man, that might be the thing somebody needed today.
Well, thank you.
I'll never forget taking my first compassion trip, and we went to Ghana, Africa. When we got there to the site, there was this little girl. She was 6 years old. I later found out her name was Vivian, and she would not let go of my hand. She followed me everywhere I went on that site. And later I got to meet her family. I met her mother and her siblings, and they all lived in this little mud hut. I mean, it wasn't big at all. And when I looked at Vivian, she had the biggest smile on her face, and she was just happy to be there, just happy to be with us. And it made such an impact in my life that I wanted to sponsor her right then and there. Because of my sponsorship for Vivian through Compassion, I'm able to write letters back and forth with her. I'm now getting updated photos, and now I think she's even taller than me, which is crazy to think. But I'm also able to see how my sponsorship is providing the food, clean water, and other support that she needs and her family needs to live the best life possible. And I can only imagine now with the pandemic, war, and weather disasters, there are so many other families like Vivian's who are dealing with hunger. So maybe you want to make an impact and sponsor your own Vivian. Just click the Compassion banner when you go to wayfm.com.
Uplifting Way FM.
Stories that
accentuate the positive.
It's the Wally Show.
What you got, Gavin?
One thing that I think endears a company to people is when individuals at that company go above and beyond with their tasks and can get things done for you in a timely manner. And no company is more well known for their timely manner than Amazon.
Oh, absolutely. Like you see the things that drivers go through on people's doorbell cams and stuff like that to make sure you get your package. I think it's great. And I love when people do nice things for them too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, and you see that, those stories are great.
Because they're great people. And speaking of delivery drivers and the insane things that they have to go through for some of their deliveries, there's this story going viral on TikTok about an Amazon delivery driver delivering a package during an hour-long police standoff. Like, literally, like at least 10 or 20 cop cars surrounding, like, a building.
Okay.
And this woman, like, thank goodness for her, decides she's going to film it and put it on TikTok. And her reaction to the situation, I think, is probably, like, priceless.
In the midst of a standoff, he's going to deliver his package. Look, he's taking a picture. It made it there when you're serious about your work.
So he walks through like police, like past a barricade and stuff?
So he doesn't go past the absolute barricade. He goes up to like the outskirts of it and he ends up handing the package to the SWAT team member that he was able to, as far as he could go. So he delivers that to the SWAT team member. They don't have an update on if that package was
was it for the guy that was in the standoff? Like he ordered like ammo or something?
Well,
what in the world?
They said the standoff was like close to like 20 plus hours long.
Oh, wow.
So there's a weird world where that person literally could have been the person who ordered something.
Yeah.
And what's Amazon gonna like? Amazon
They don't
doesn't know that person's in the midst of a standoff.
I love that this person decided to, in the middle of the police standoff, that they're like, I do not want to get in trouble. I have to deliver this package, and they still followed through with it. That's insanity.
Absolutely. I have a buddy who used to work as an Amazon delivery driver. Dream job, by the way.
Yeah.
Maybe not in this situation though. And he said that they are super closely monitored on their route and their pace.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you haven't delivered all of your packages or if you were slower than you should have been, then you do get in trouble, then your job is at stake. So this guy probably deserves maybe a raise for going above and beyond at this. And I guess in a way this is a weird, positive ad for Amazon. Like these guys will get you what you need.
Yeah, I can barely get the mailman to deliver me stuff when it's like windy outside. It's a little windy. We're going to call it for today. What happened to snow, sleet, or hail? But Amazon, they're getting it done. I love it. Well, there you go. That's your news for this hour. Thank you, Gavin. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. And there are national days for everything. We have a National Day of Prayer. But in a world where not everyone believes the same things, you have to give space to things that might not be something that you subscribe to. And so Betty Rock came across National Atheist Day.
Yeah, which who knew that they even had a day like to celebrate being atheist.
Yeah, like I believe in nothing. Yay. Okay. And so like it's interesting. But again, we live in a society where not everybody believes the same thing. So if you want your day, you have to give other people their day. But as I was thinking about this, and I'm like, National Atheist Day. Because the thing about atheism is where if you don't believe in God, you don't believe in the devil, it's very easy to become very fatalistic. And what's the point of anything? It's actually kind of a sad existence,
Because nothing is keeping you responsible for being a good person or even being a bad person.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was thinking about this, though. Like when you're a kid and if you go to church or church camps as a kid, it's much easier to come to faith, I think, when you're young before you get older. And I'm curious about people like who maybe came to faith later in life. And like, what was it that moved you from maybe not even believing in a God at all to, wow, I believe there's God and that he loves me and that he's the savior of my life?
Yeah, because as you get older, you kind of get stuck in your ways. Like you decide on what you believe and you stick with it. But if you make that big of a change in your life when you're older, then you want to know, like, what was that change? Because it had to be something big that made you think, you know what, actually, I do believe that there is a God and I'm actually going to give my life to him.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that because I know we have a lot of people that have, grown up in church, and that's awesome. But then there are a lot of people that listen that it's relatively new for them sometimes too, and they come to faith later. So what is your story with that here on National Atheist Day? How did you go from, hey, I don't even know that I believe there's a God, to, man, I love this God and Jesus, and the fact that they died for me, or he died for me, is amazing, and it's changed my life. 855-33 Way FM is the number. Kind of doing a little different take on Atheist Day. So you can use anything. Just have to have the right camera angle. 855-33 Way FM. I'd love to hear your story now. So what's your story there, Jessica?
So my son was 4 years old. He was in preschool. It was a Christian preschool, and he came home and he said, "Mom, I love Jesus. How come we don't go to church?" And I said, I don't know, buddy. And he's like, "Well, can we start?" And I just kept pushing it off, and it was a few months later, and he was still asking if we could please go to church because he wanted to know more about Jesus. So I finally took him, and we've been going for 4 years now.
That's amazing.
Wow.
The fact that you put him in a Christian preschool, even though that wasn't a thing for you, at least it says maybe there's something to this, or I like the way these people are going to treat my son, so there's a difference there. And it paid off big time for your family and for you because he wanted to know more about Jesus. That's amazing.
Yep, I thank God for him every day. It's incredible what God uses to turn us to him.
Yeah, we think as parents we're supposed to teach our kids everything, but it's true, man. Sometimes our kids are the ones that teach us.
Yep, I mean, I truly believe that he knew I would do anything for my kids, and so that's why he used him to bring me to him.
So what's your story like that, Lisa?
My story was hard in the beginning when I was older. I was abused and physically abused and mentally abused. I had a lot of anger. And I met a friend that took me to a Christian church, and there my eyes were just like the word of the Lord was being fed to me, and it just came to life. And then one day I saw this man standing out with a sign saying, "You're valuable." And I thought, God is real. He's telling me that I am valuable. I am valuable to him. Maybe these people that were abusing me, no, but to Jesus, he came into my life and healed me completely. And I am so grateful.
And your story has an impact on a lot of women that are facing the same situation. Like, your story goes a long way further than, someone who has never been in that situation. And it's interesting to me, too, because it seems like you've probably come across some people that have been in a similar situation and have thought, well, there is no God because why would he allow me to walk through that abuse? But you see it from the other side.
Yeah.
Do you know why that is?
Yeah. When I started hearing the stories, and the Samaritan woman was one of my biggest ones, I read it so many times, and when it came to life to me, it was like, that was me. Just that one friend to take me to meet Jesus was enough for me. He is enough. There is a God that will save you from all that, and he is always by you, protecting you.
If you love the music on Way FM,
this is probably like my favorite.
But have heard a new song and want to know more, here's what's new on Way with Betty Rock.
Separately, Natalie Grant and Corey Asbury are staples in the Christian music world. And now they've come together and joined forces, collaborating on a new song called You Will Be Found.
Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found.
So this song may sound familiar to you. It's from the popular musical Dear Evan Hansen.
So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around. You will be found.
That's fascinating
right?
to me.
So the song, originally performed by Broadway star Ben Platt, is sung at the memorial for a high school student who actually took his own life. The song is sung as a reminder to the film's high school students that if you're feeling alone too, you're not, and that there are others around you ready to help. Well, Natalie Grant and her husband actually helped produce that song.
Oh, Bernie.
Yes. So Natalie Grant admits that when she first heard this song, she was overcome with the ultimate love God has for us and tells us about in his word. Now, that song originally, it was meant to be like, we each need each other as human beings and we can help one another. But Natalie Grant saw it in a different way. She saw it in a more God aspect. She said, quote, "It doesn't matter who you are or what you've done. There's never a moment that you are so far gone that the love of God can't find you." So the song has actually been an anthem for those struggling with depression and anxiety, thanks to the Broadway show. But Grant hopes that her version of it points those hurting with the hope that it's ultimately found in Jesus.
See, I do like how God is bigger than the boxes that we put him into and what was written for this one thing. If you just have a different camera angle and you filter it through your faith filter, the same lyrics mean something completely different, and I love that. And I think that's what she's doing in reclaiming this for something of a even higher purpose. Like it's a good purpose, like that it was written for, but it's got an even better purpose when you kind of filter it through faith as well. So there you go. That is new music that we are playing on Way FM right now, and this is Natalie Grant and Corey Asbury with "You Will Be Found," and that's what's on Way.
Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear?
Betty Rock, does the name Lonnie Frisbee mean anything to you?
Not really.
Well, it didn't to me either until I saw the new Erwin Brothers film, Jesus Revolution. It's that one that's like faith-based, and it's not the usual like faith-based film. Yes, it's a movie that tells the faith story of Pastor Greg Laurie after meeting this hippie preacher named Lonnie Frisbee. And what's cool is it's kind of all true. It was set in the 60s and 70s during the Jesus movement. And I'm telling you, Rock, you would absolutely love the soundtrack. It's really good. Your dad raised you on that stuff.
What did you like about the movie?
I like that the movie's about a guy searching for identity and inclusion and truth. And even though it's set in the 70s, man, it's exactly what people are looking for today. And the answer is Jesus. It's the same then as it is now. And I also really liked that it didn't paint a perfect picture of the church either.
Really?
Yeah, like it showed men's egos kind of getting in the way of God, and it showed the intolerance of people inside of faith. But it also showed that despite that, if we just get out of the way, revival is possible.
So what did you not like about the movie?
That I wasn't in it. Like that bothered me a little bit. I got to tell you, the Irwins, they cast Kelsey Grammer, and he's great. They got Jesus from The Chosen. I mean, that's a great get, but they could have had me for a whole lot less. But in the end, man, I really thought it was a great movie.
If you want to check it out and hopefully enjoy it as much as Wally did, it's in theaters right now.
Uplifting Way FM. If it's trending, streaming, or starring, Betty Rock's got it. Betty Rock's got it. On the Rock Report. Hey, Betty.
When I mention the name Dolly Parton, pretty much anyone knows who I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. She's an icon globally.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
You know her from hits like, ones we've played here on Way FM with Zach Williams.
In the way, in the searching, in the healing, in the hurting, like a blessing.
She's an enigma. She is loved by so many people, yet there's so much mystery about her. Like the fact that, did you know that she has a husband?
Yeah.
But we've never seen him in public, and they've been married for almost 60 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, he's completely out of the public eye. I couldn't pick him out of a lineup.
No. That's just something you don't usually see.
And in this day and age where everything is public and everything's online, the fact that she's been able to keep that part of her life quiet makes me doubtful. No.
Like we're going to find out on a Dateline episode later that he's really not here.
Yeah.
Well, there's also been rumors that she's refused to be seen without her full makeup.
Sure.
And she's always got to have a wig on. We have never seen her real hair.
Yeah, she has a brand, and her brand is that big old like hair. Tease it to Jesus, as Betty Rock says.
That's true. But finally, she's decided to let us in behind the curtain. Dolly's releasing a new book. It's called Behind the Seams, My Life in Rhinestones.
I like it.
She promises that this novel will deliver, quote, a good look at her life in costume and hair. It comes out October 17th, and I will be the first in line.
Yeah, you have been a Dolly fan since you were knee-high to a grasshopper.
Said perfectly. Just because she has been able to have others be on her team, but yet she's never made public what she really stands for.
Right.
And so that's been interesting because, like you said, a lot of things aren't public, and a lot of people feel like if they have a stage or platform, then they need to be vocal about what they do believe. And yet somehow she's been able to just show love.
Well, that's the thing. I think she leads with that because a lot of people love Dolly who are very different from the other people that love her, and that's not easy to do in this day and age. And the fact that she has been able to walk that, and she's open about her faith and stuff as well. And so I'm sure a lot of people would get hate from all sides, you know, because you can never make everybody happy. But somehow she's found that key, and maybe it is just leading with love and having that accent. That's why everyone loves Betty. I just figured that out. Betty's mean as a snake sometimes, but she just smiles at you and says, "Oh, hey, sweetheart, God bless you."
She's the real enigma.
Yeah.
I'm gonna smack the heck fire out of you.
Thank you. Like, when you say it like that, yeah, I appreciate it. And I love you, you know? See, that's the
Bless your
accent.
heart.
Yeah, that's the accent. It makes it all work. So when's the book coming out if you love Dolly?
October 17th.
All right, that's going to do it for your Rock Report. Thank you, Lady Rock.
Why are we wasting our time with these old people anyway?
Did you just call me old?
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. We're going to play a little game here. Have you a chance to win a Way FM prize pack? But you got to be listening because the way it works is we are going to try to stump each other with the ages of different celebrities or well-known people. And then when we reveal their actual age, write it down, commit it to memory, put it in your phone, something, so that if you can add all three of the actual ages at the end, you can win a prize. Now, Betty Rock, you have an audio clip, so I want to start with you today.
Oh, I've got a legend.
Okay, let's do this.
Boy.
I've got the one and only Chuck Stinkin' Norris.
Oh, of course.
You broke my nose!
So good.
I'll fix it. Nah, looks better the other way.
So good. What was the Chuck Norris? Because, like, you know how they had Chuck Norris facts years ago? Like,
Yes.
Chuck
Oh, I
Norris
have
doesn't
that.
do push-ups. He pushes the world down, you know,
Right.
kind of
Okay,
stuff.
so I saw a new meme and it
Yeah.
said Chuck Norris admitted to using stunt doubles in his movies, but only for the crying
Yes,
parts.
that's right.
So good. That's so good. All right, so how old is Chuck Norris? Now, I used to watch Chuck Norris back in the day, and he was already kind of
Texas
old.
Ranger.
Walker, Texas Ranger.
And then he had the Thigh Master, right? Or something? With
He had the
Summer.
body shaper, like it was a slide thing that you would slide up and down.
okay,
The Thigh
okay.
Master was
Suzanne Summers.
Suzanne Summers. Yeah,
Okay.
those two are very different. Okay, so let me write my guess down for him. All right, Gavin.
Okay. I feel like I know him as like a meme and
Yeah.
as a joke.
Yeah.
But being challenged with his age, I'm like, oh man, do I really know? So I kind of am going with like late 70s. I'm going with 79.
Ah.
I feel like I could be over maybe.
You know what? No, I hope you're right on the money. I really do.
I do too.
I do. I hope you get that right on the money because I also said 79.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Let's
I said
do
79.
this.
Interesting.
All right, so because like all the memes are probably young Chuck Norris,
Yeah.
but he's not a
Right.
spring chicken.
Not anymore.
He is.
Okay.
Oh, come
Drum
on now.
roll, please.
Is he 81?
83.
Oh, nuts! I was
Chuck
gonna go with
Norris
80s.
is 83.
That's so
Okay,
old.
we're not bad off
That's
though.
insane.
And we stayed tied there, so that's
Yeah.
good. Okay, so make sure you write down Chuck Norris at 83 years young, okay? And because we have two more people, we're going to put those out there, and if you can guess them and add them all up, their actual age, you can win a prize. And we'll do that in 10 on The Wally Show. So, Gavin, who are you putting up? We try to fool each other with people here.
I'm going with one of the legends of like action film industry. I'm going with Die Hard's own Bruce Willis.
Oh, yeah. He's had like health issues
Yeah.
and stuff, and it's kind of sad actually. I saw a picture of him or a video of him at his recent birthday just the other day, but it didn't say how old he was.
Oh,
I'm
good
like,
for me.
I know, I would have had it. Dadgummit. I tried to picture people and like how old was I when I was watching their movie and how old would they have been? You know, so okay, I've got my answer down. Betty
You
Rock.
go.
No, I don't trust you. I wrote mine down.
I don't trust you.
I wrote mine down.
Someone go.
65.
You have got to be kidding me.
Did you write 65?
65. I guess
keep copying.
Gavin and I guessed the exact same guess earlier. Betty and I just guessed the exact same guess. So this could pay off well for me because I still have the last person to put up. So, Gavin, how old is Mr. Die Hard?
He is only 3 years older than that at 68.
Oh,
I actually thought he would be
wow.
a smidge older than that.
I'm
so
in the lead.
Yeah,
It's
all right.
close right now.
It is close. This could go any way here. Okay,
Depends
so
on who you
write down
picked.
65.
See, this is why Wally saves himself for last because he likes to see where he's at in
Yeah.
the scoring
Yeah.
so that he has two people. You
Maybe.
should only be allowed to pick one person.
No, I just have the one. I only have one. Honest, truthful. I'll show you my paper after this, okay? How old is Creed Bratton? How old is Creed Bratton?
Oh, from The Office?
Creed from The Office, the guy who
Oh.
plays Creed. How old is Creed? His real name is Creed. So how old is Creed? Now, Betty is an Office aficionado, so this should be easy for her. Gavin, you've seen the show, so you should know. So what do you say? We'll start with Gavin first.
Bummer.
Because again, I don't trust Betty.
I was kind of still processing this because I know he comes across. He's like a little older in the show. It's been a while since the show's
But is
been
he really
on.
older?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a little stab at this because I don't feel like I'm gonna be right, and I'm gonna say 61.
61. All right. What did you say, Lady Rock?
I think I just won this one because there's no way he can be that young.
Right.
I'm going to say
much older?
Yeah, I'm going to say he's 76.
76.
All right.
Okay. Betty Rock, 76. Well, I can tell you this. Gavin has just mathematically removed himself from this equation.
I just want to leave.
Gavin is going to be way out of this
I do
game.
this all the time.
And I can't do the math fast enough, so we're going to have to rely on the spreadsheet. So put this in. This is mine to lose. Betty Rock, Creed Bratton is 80 years old.
Oh, snap.
80.
Okay.
So then the
put it
math
in.
put it in.
We tied!
Oh,
What are the
my
odds of that? I never do that well in this game, so a tie is a win for me.
That's a win for me.
All right, so there you heard Creed Bratton and Bruce Willis. You got their actual ages. Now make sure that you add that to the first one that Betty put up in break number 1 of this, and if you can do that, you will win a Way FM prize pack right now. So 855-33 Way FM. That's 855-33 Way FM. Gavin ended up with 23 points. Oh, delightful. This golf score is what you're trying for, is the lowest there. So, all right, 855-33 Way FM if you want to play.
Why are we wasting our time with these old people anyway?
Did you just call me old?
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show with you, Jerry, for famous ages. So we tried to stump each other with 3 actors, and we revealed their actual age. And hopefully you remembered all those real ages and added them together. So we had Chuck Norris, Bruce Willis, and Creed Bratton from The Office. How old are they if you add all their ages together?
If you add them together, they're 231 years old because Chuck Norris is 3 years older than my mom. He's 83.
I cannot believe that Chuck Norris is 83. He seems so young.
I was blown away.
Well, you are absolutely right. You got it right. It is 231. Nicely done, Jerry. Your mom is 83. Okay, so this is where we like to have fun and try to guess your age. And normally we ask a question, but I don't even think we need to ask a question because his mom's 83. Do a little math there and figure this out. Depends on when she had him. Okay?
That's true. 83. Okay, I got my guess.
Okay, because see, now my logic for this is my mom is 80. But she had me 3rd in line. But Jerry sounds young.
He does.
I've got Jerry at 50.
Actually, Wally, my mom is 80 as well. She's only 3 years younger. So he's 3 years older than my mom.
Oh, you got it wrong. Too bad. You put your guess in. Too bad. Too bad.
Okay, what'd you say, Rock?
I said 51.
Oh, you're just like going Price is Right rule, like 1 over.
Who's closer?
Guys are so close. Let's see. Okay, we had 51 from you, and he guessed
50.
I'm 52.
I win.
Yeah, and we were tied in the first round, so Betty Rock, you get the win today. Nicely done. But you're not the only winner. Jerry got his question right as well, so he's picking up a Way FM prize back. And Jerry, we appreciate you being on the show and playing along with us, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. We do the scoop from time to time to help you out with life stuff, and this is a scoop that I created myself, actually, not a hack from TikTok. This is something I came up with, and I think it's kind of bordering on ingenious. I think
or a
it's pretty
felony.
smart. We're not sure. It's smart, though. Like, sometimes it works. Like, if you have a whole IT department and stuff like that, and they monitor your computers and, like, what your searches are and things like that, because I know we have that here as well. And there are sometimes you need to search for something, even for work purposes, that might be a little sensitive, that you're like, I don't know if I want that in my search history. Like, for example, we were watching a story the other day on the news about a dentist who was poisoning his wife with like cyanide in milkshakes. And my thought was, where do you buy cyanide? Like, how readily available is this? I wouldn't even know how to begin to do that.
But also, how can you innocently Google that?
Right. So curiosity got the best of me, and I'm like, I need to know. And I'm right here in the studio. I can't leave, and I'm not doing it on my phone because I have a wife, and like that would be horrible. So I Google. This is the scoop. Okay, I figured out exactly how to do this if you're being monitored.
How to Google things that you don't want to be caught Googling.
Exactly. So this is exactly what I Googled. Where can you buy cyanide? This is Joy Summers, by the way. That's what I actually Googled, so that if it ever comes back, our IT guy will see that search and he'll go, oh, that's our midday girl, Joy. We need to look into her.
Right. Like if her husband suddenly falls ill, they're going to be like, well, you Googled this on this day.
Yep, I know. And then it's her problem at that point. But I thought that was ingenious. So you can use that for your scoop. Just Google it and then just put someone you work with's name at the end.
Ingenious or evil, we're not sure.
It doesn't matter. They're not looking at me.
Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online and United Faith Mortgage for supporting what we do.